Hello and welcome to my Binda TV. So for now, I'd like to look at a bit of Kenyan politics. So for now, I'm looking at the Kenyan politics, and for now, I'm looking at is there an opposition fatigue in Luo Nyanza? Is there an opposition fatigue in Luo Nyanza? So the underlying theory of presidential term limits is that it is better to truncate the rule of a say Mandela, that extends the reign of a despot say Idi Amin. There has never been a one-term president in Kenya. That's why presidents have never taken their job seriously. With an ODM UDA alliance, the fact is that the sole aim is to elect Ruto back for a second term. Gladys Wanga is being touted as the potential running mate to William Ruto in 2027. But then we must ask just what will she bring to the table rather than the voice of Luo Nyanza region. There is an opposition fatigue in Luo Nyanza. That's not in doubt. Has pro- the region has produced brilliant sons and daughters, but none has ever come close to power. Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was Kenya's first vice president, but then he fell out with Jomo Kenyatta after just 3 years after he was kicked out. The colonialists wanted to leave power to Jaramogi, saying Kenyatta was too old, but then Jaramogi refused until his older brother Jomo Kenyatta was released from jail. In the early days of Kenya's independence, there wasn't anything like revolution. There wasn't anything like CDF. How well you developed depended on how well you sang to the tune of the government. Moi de- think of the way Moi developed Eldoret, giving it an international airport and a teaching and referral level 6 hospital. Then think of Jomo Kenyatta, how he made Thika the Detroit of Kenya, how Thika became the most industrial town in Kenya. Even fish processing factories weren't in Kisumu or Homa Bay, they were in Thika. It is 1 year since the late Raila Odinga and President Ruto signed a deal to work together, what they call a 10-point agenda. Some of the early wins of the 10-point agenda is that the victims of police brutality and extrajudicial killings will be compensated by June, going all the way back to 2017. Really, what is the glue that holds ODM and UDA together? Is it a perpetuation of the presidency of William Ruto? Will that alliance capture power in 2027? The 2 billion shillings that will be going to the poor victims of police brutality is great, but it is no way going to erase the pain of loss of their families. The fact is, Ruto has lost the Mount Kenya vote parties have, and the point of contention is whether Ruto should go with the running mate from ODM, likely Gladys Wanga, and then what will become of Professor Kizure Kindiki. Can the lost Mount Kenya votes be made up by the votes of Nyanza and elsewhere? Fred Matiang'i has carved up the Kisii region, Edin Sifuna will take a chunk of votes from Western authorities are a notoriously fragmented region. Then Babu Wino will also likely emerge as a kingpin of the Nyanza region. The united opposition is relentless in preaching that President Ruto should be a one-term president. For Kenya to move forward, then presidents should lose elections so that they get up and work during their first term. Let's have politics that is about developing region or the regions of the country. Nyanza leaders have said enough is enough as they have been their best. So they have seen even their best such as Raila Odinga, come up short. And of course, the two regions which have tested power, Mount Kenya and Rift Valley, know what it means to produce power. The ODM UDA alliance even isn't even about President William Ruto. It is about whether power can be rotated around the country. It is an acknowledgement that any Kenyan can aspire to the highest office in the land and get that post. Think of how Raila Odinga was denied victory in 2007, even when it was clear that he had handily beaten Mwai Kibaki in the polls. It will be a disaster if in 2032 power goes back to Mount Kenya. This will build resentment in other regions of the country, and that comes with secessionist tendencies. In 2018, there was a clearly a feeling of resentment in Luo Nyanza, and President Uhuru Kenyatta, being briefed on this intelligence, decided to call Raila for a handshake, or else there should be a rotating presidency where the former 8 provinces will produce a president for a 1 7 year term or maybe 1 5 year term. That's how power could be rotated. Just as power is rotated, the UN Secretary General position is rotated, or maybe the gentleman's agreement between the North and South and Nigeria is rotated. So you let me know on whether you think there is opposition fatigue in Luo Nyanza. You let me know on whether you think there is opposition fatigue in Luo Nyanza. So bye for now. Bye for now till the next episode. Bye for now.